All right, welcome everyone to Talkin' Wiffs episode 6. We've got a packed house today. We got Caleb, Harper, and Andrew. Fellas, how are we doing?
Pretty good. Doing well, doing well.
Yeah, good.
All right, so for this episode, we're going to go through each team. We're going to make some picks, full season preview. This is going to be our last off-season episode. So we'll kick this off with, we'll talk about the defending champs, the Knoxville Knights. Caleb, how are you feeling about your group heading into 2026?
I'm feeling great. We got a lot of young players like Finn Bergseth. Haven't seen him play, but I heard a lot of good things out of him in the tourney.
Yep.
A good arm. He might be the two-game arm, and I might be the one-game arm. We'll see how I throw. And
Hmm.
then got a guy like Spitzer. Never seen him play either, but he's a dog at baseball, so maybe that translates. And then Giggy, just a vibe guy. He also might be pretty good at wiffle. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in my team this year.
Harper and Andrew, what do we got on the Knights?
I think that they have too many personalities that might conflict with their team chemistry. I saw it last year with the Spiders. We'll see how they mesh together, but I think they'll struggle early on. We'll see how they do in the playoffs.
Harper, what do you got?
I agree with AP's take, but like Caleb said, they do have Giggy, who Loki just is able to bring a bunch of people together somehow. I don't know how he does it, so I think that'll be a big factor for the team. But it will be interesting how their personalities conflict and collide.
Yes, one of the questions I got kind of down here for this team is, Caleb, you kind of already answered it, but if Finn is like a Cy Young caliber arm, are you going to kind of hand over the ranks to him and he's going to be that number one guy?
Oh yeah, I think so. I also think that I will still be a good pitcher, but definitely since he's young and upcoming, I think I'll hand the ranks off and give him 2 games.
Okay. Andrew, what do you got on that?
It's easier said than done.
Okay. So we'll kick it off here. They play the Spiders. You guys play the Spiders right away. Now, if you're going to be there or not is still kind of up in the air with all the weather that's been happening lately. So the Spiders opening matchup, we'll dive into that a little bit. How do you feel about that matchup, kind of knowing that the Spiders have a new look and you guys have a new look? And fun fact, the Knights have never lost a series to the Spiders, ever.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be there for side baseball on the weekends,
Yeah.
but I really think that we can 100% pull out a game, and I'm very confident in getting at least two in, maybe even three with Finn Brickseth at least two, and then obviously if Giggy or Spitz throws, I don't know if we can get a game three there, but I'm confident in two.
Harper, what do you got on that matchup? Spiders Knights, Slate 1.
I want the Spiders here. I mean. We haven't no Grayson, no Caleb. Quinn won't be there. Nobody has a wiffle ball experience in the WBL, which is the pro league. Then you have a team consisting of Tate Grandy and Jack Joyce, who I think are two of the best players in the WBL.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll definitely be. I think if it was game 3 of the season, I would take the Knights. But first game of the season, I gotta go. I gotta go with TG and Jack, my boys.
Andrew,
Tate
what do
coming
you
to the.
Andrew, what do you got
No,
on this?
I think this will be one of the few series the Spiders actually win just due to the lack of experience for the Knights. But once the Knights get back to full strength, I feel like they could take care of the Spiders in the playoffs.
Yeah, so one last thing on the Knights, actually two more things, but what do we have as the ceiling for this team in the regular season? Is the ceiling 8 wins,
15
9 wins,
up.
10 wins? Let's be realistic here.
Uh, how many do we have last year?
You guys went 10-5 last year.
I'd say the ceiling is probably double digits, 10 or 11. I'd
Okay.
say
What is the floor, do we think?
10 or 11.
I'd say 8.
No, I don't think we get down past, I don't want to say it, but 6 or 7. I don't think we're getting past that number.
I think eight's the
I,
floor.
I think 5 to 9, they're going to be middle of the pack, and then come playoffs, we'll see how their guys who have been out will perform. But
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it in other shows here that if you guys start like 5-1 and then you add Grayson and then yourself, Caleb, and Quinn into the mix, then we really need to watch out for this team. But we're gonna go with the over/under pick here for everyone's gonna go through it. Over/under 7.5 wins in the regular season. I'll start. I'm gonna take the under. I think you guys are gonna go 7-8. Bold take, 7-8. I'm taking the under. Andrew, you go next.
I think they'll get the over by one game. I have them at 8-7. But it will be interesting with all those new players coming in.
Harper will have you go next.
Honestly, I got the
Oh,
over. I
okay.
got the over. I'm just gonna
Over.
say.
All right. Harper.
I got the over as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be a solid 8, 9, 10 win team. I think somewhere in that ballpark.
All right. Well, that's what we got for the Knoxville Knights. We'll transfer to the Compton Cowboys. Cowboys last year, they go 13-2. They win the American League by a mile, and then they shockingly get swept in the World Series by your Knights, Caleb. So, kind of
Shocking.
just a brief overview of this Cowboys. What do we have on this team coming into 2026? What do we think of them? Who's going?
Yeah, they're just I mean, a lot of new faces once again. Jonas really likes to shuffle players in and out of the Compton. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm curious. I think they'll still be good. I mean, Caden Nelson obviously has shown he's good, so I'm sure their new players will also be able to show something. But I mean, I don't know, because they have Strom right now too, right?
Yep. They got a lot of
And
South guys.
I do think Strom will take another step this year, as I think last year he was kind of just getting the hang of it. And at the end of the year, he did play better than the start.
Yep.
So I don't know. They'll be a solid team, I'm sure.
Caleb, what do you
So
got
we
on the
both.
night or not the Knights, the
Uh,
Cowboys?
I think they're gonna have a good team. Obviously, with Strom, kind of a new guy in the league, but he's a good wiffle ball player. They also have Geary, which absolute dog at baseball. But does that translate to wiffle ball? We don't know. And then I didn't think it was possible, but I do think Katie Nelson's gonna even improve his game more, especially on the
Wow.
pitching side.
Yeah.
Because I think Jonas might pass. Is Jonas still playing? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's gonna pass reins off to Caden, especially what he saw when he had to take out the starters when we were whooping their ass in the World Series and he pitched game three. So I think they'll be pretty good, but that's what I got about them.
Andrew, what do you got on the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think they're the most they're the deepest team in the league right now. It will be interesting. They have all South players for the regular season, and then kind of a North guy with Jonas who runs the team. So that would be their only downfall, I would think. And then when Jonah comes back for the playoffs, that would be kind of the one thing that might lead to their downfall in the playoffs, which we saw last year with the Knights. But I feel like they'll remain as a solid power two team in the league.
Yeah, I think the main thing for me is like who's going to be the number two arm because last year it was Sam Chase and he did a serviceable, he wasn't like elite or anything, but he did a decent job. So if Caden Nelson can take that over, I think that's a big thing. What do we have a ceiling for this team in wins? Because last year they went 13-2. I don't think we expect that to happen again. What do we have the ceiling and floor at for this team?
I'd say right around what I think the Knights would be around 10, 11, 12, that kind of number. I definitely think they'll get to double digits. I just don't know what number.
Yeah, I think ceiling it sits around 11. I would say 11, 12 ceiling.
I would say about 11 wins. Like they're gonna struggle seeing some new faces in the league, but they'll be able to win most of their series. So
Yeah, so they kick off the season with our Bulldogs, Andrew. We'll kind of dive into that matchup a little bit. Andrew, you obviously your arm likely not ready for opening day, maybe slate 2 or 3. So I think that makes an interesting game two matchup in the pitching. So kind of what do we think of this matchup for opening day?
well, I think they're definitely going with Caden as their second arm, and
Yeah,
then we'll probably go. I don't know who will go. Probably Rowan, but I feel like it'll be probably a higher scoring game, whichever game that matches up with. But I think
yeah.
we'll take the series.
What do you guys got, Caleb and Harper?
Uh, that's definitely in my book a top three matchup in the league. I think the Cowboys and the Bulldogs are a top three team in the league. It's going to be a good game. Obviously, I don't know if AP can't throw. I don't know if that helps you guys or doesn't help you guys, but I definitely think I think that it will be a good game. And if even if the Cowboys do or the Bulldogs do sweep, I think down the road the team will match up again, maybe in the playoffs, and that will be a lot better series.
Yeah, for sure. Harper, what do you got in this
Yeah, I
matchup?
think I think Cowboys take this one. Just like we said, limited contributors. I mean, We haven't really seen much from the other guys. I mean, occasionally we'll see a Rowan have a clutch hit.
Yep.
I mean, Hank, is good for whatever Hank does.
Watch out
He's
for
But
Eli
vibes.
Eminis.
Eli Eminis, I do think will be maybe he has potential rookie of the year, but like AP obviously will not be good in the arm thing. He
Jeez.
can't throw. He already can't throw, and I think that's going to affect his swing path too. So we'll see how it translates to wiffle ball. Baseball, it's already been, I don't know. You can answer that yourself, how you've been feeling with your swings, but I don't know. So I think the Cowboys take this series, but once AP gets healthy again, probably still won't matter too much, but it definitely will help a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, I will touch on the pitching depth for the Cowboys. I think that if Caden doesn't pan out, which I'm not saying he won't or will, but don't sleep on Jonah DeYoung coming back and carving up guys. I
Dude,
feel
he
like
could
if he comes
paint.
back
In
he
2024, he painted. But now,
Fair enough.
last thing going on the Cowboys here, the over/under is set at 10.5 wins. So are we taking the over, the under? I personally, I'll take the over. I'll say they get exactly 11 wins. What do you guys got?
It pains me to say, but I think I'm also going to take the over.
I
Harper.
just for pure drama and storylines, I'll take the under, but I would expect there to be a very high chance that they could take the over. I could see 11 wins out of them.
I'd say
Andrew.
under. I think they're going to take a step back from last year, but still be winning record for sure.
I like it. So we're going to transfer into the Southern Spiders, a very interesting team I'm very excited to talk about here. So the Spiders, obviously, I think we all can agree last year was probably their best team, but they had the worst result at the end of the year, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So they trade, obviously, Andrew, they trade you, they acquire Sam Chase. They're probably less talented, but I feel like you guys can add on to this or whatever, but I feel like they're going to be better as a group just because it's pretty clear, Andrew, you and Noah couldn't be on the same team for another year because that just wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I don't see a spot for managers to be in the league if they're not going to contribute regularly. So, yep, that's where I stand with that.
All right. What do you guys got on the Spiders for kind of the moves they made? Because they got pretty
Uh,
revamped
could you
roster.
remind could you remind me of the roster?
Yeah, so they got Jack Joyce, Tate Grandy returning. They added Sam Chase. Benson will be back for the playoff run. They drafted Colby Ebling. And then obviously Noah's the manager, part-time player.
They definitely have a good young core. You know, I think they'll have a good regular season. Might be a little iffy here and there, and into the playoffs, they're a young core. And if people say wiffle ball, it doesn't get the jitters going. I was definitely had the jitters going in the World Series. So if they're not set for that game, they're not prepared for that game. I think it will definitely be a struggle towards the playoffs this year.
Harper,
Did
what
we
do you
lose
got?
AP? We
Yeah,
lost
just
AP.
just just keep going.
Yeah, I think they'll be a solid team. It's just with the moves they've made, I like the addition of Sam Chase. I would I don't know how I feel about Ebling. Ebling's a great player, but it kind of conflicts with the North Side vibes. I
Yep.
mean, they're really just kind of sticking together. But Ebling is solid. We saw him in the tournament solid. Noah probably won't play, I guess, most
Yeah.
of the time. If they're getting blown out or blowing someone out. So, but I think they'll be solid. I mean, once Tate Grandy comes to the Monkeys, it'll be different, but
Yeah. Welcome back,
hell of a
Andrew.
trade there.
Welcome back. Yeah.
All right, so something else I kind of want to add to on the Spiders and the chemistry thing is that every guy on this team, other than Benson and Noah, who obviously aren't going to play as much until the end of the year, all those guys played on the Jets together, so I think that'll help a little bit. And they have a lot of South guys, but um, I want to ask you guys a question. Is this the deepest pitching staff? Because obviously Jack Joyce can be a Cy Young candidate when he's on. Sam Chase is very serviceable, probably better than that. And Tate, people forget Tate can pitch too. I mean,
Tate's solid.
he's beaten the Cowboys and the Knights before in a regular season game, which is crazy to say. But is this the deepest pitching staff in the league? That's my question to you guys, and why?
I tell you no. I think I would personally go with the Knights. I think they have two highest caliber pitchers compared to, I mean, no offense to Sam Chase, he's just a get you through a game kind of guy, get you
Yeah,
situation kind of guy. Tate
Pitch,
obviously is
pitch to
good, but
contact and with the ball is how I would describe the Sam Chase situation.
that's how Sam Chase is in every kind of pitching.
Yep. Yep.
Um, But I mean, Tate Grandy, obviously he's good, but he's not like doesn't bring much besides he can paint corners. So I
Yeah.
mean, but Jack's obviously really good. But I would say the Knights because they have two guys who are high end pitchers, and Spitzer, we haven't seen him yet, but I would assume he'll be pretty solid as well.
I
Yeah.
agree with Harper. I think not being biased, I do think my team, the Knights, are up there. I know I can pitch, Finn can pitch, and
Okay.
then Gig said has said I've never seen him, but he has said he can pitch. Spitzer maybe can pitch, but I think we have a lot of depth in
Mhm.
there. But I also think the Spiders are high up in that pitching depth as well.
Andrew, I know you're gonna conflict on the
Well,
pitching depth.
I will say that I don't think that well, they have guys that can pitch, but I don't know how good that depth is. I mean, every guy can go out there and throw their innings if they're healthy, given that. But if you got two guys who can go through, so if Tate can step into that role, if Colby can, find a way to get on the mound and throw for them, I think that that can really benefit them. Yeah, but we'll see how their depth matches up. I think the Knights are really good in depth wise.
Yeah, so the Spiders over under is 7.5 wins as well as the Knights. So the Spiders last year they won 8 games, first time in their franchise history. They always have won 7 games before that. So are we taking the over or the under on 7.5?
Under, for sure. For sure, under.
Um, I will say I feel very disrespected that we have the same line as the Spiders. But with that, I will say the Spiders will go over the 7.5 wins.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Spiders get upset in two series, and so that'll give them the under. Take the under. Say
Okay.
I'm right at 7. I have them right at 7.
Okay.
Like swept.
No, just they lose games they shouldn't have lost.
Oh,
I will say I can't wait for Bulldogs
they should
Spiders.
they should lose every game. I don't think that they're favored. So
I'm
AP, how do you feel that people say you were the problem in
I
Trump?
feel like it was part of the chemistry issue, but now that that's cleared up, they lost talent. I feel like, but
I cannot wait for Bulldogs Spiders Slate 4. That is going to be the atmosphere is going to be insane. So, speaking of the
Well, that
Bulldogs, we're going to transfer into
Yankee.
them now. Uh, Obviously, we have not finished well, really at all, in the playoffs the last couple of years. We trade for Andrew. We added Eli Emineth as well. Just overall thoughts on the Bulldogs heading into the season. We'll start with Andrew.
you know, I just got to Boston or wherever, yeah, and seems like the clubhouse vibes are pretty good. I think that's going to be the biggest change for me. I feel like Wiffle Ball was turned into that job, and it was more of the office part than the real outside part. So I feel like, yeah, it's going to be a better year in terms of chemistry, biology, physics, everything. So
All right, Caleb and Harper, what do you guys got on the Bulldogs? Just overall thoughts.
I'll say they have the best pitcher in the league. AP, that is not you, that is Ibach. He
yes,
Ibach is
back to back Cy
also
Young, back to back Cy Young.
Ibach is also very underrated as a hitter. He doesn't have any help on his team and still doesn't have any help on his team. I will say if he did come to the Knights, we'd probably win 18 World Series in a row. But they do have 2 wins in them every series with Ibach on the mound. But that last series with AP on the mound might get a little fishy.
Hey, I want to say something before Harper goes. Have we ever told anybody that you tried to trade for me?
I don't think that was ever made public, but it's been a lot of times where I try to get Ibach on the team.
I got
And,
it.
and the only reason it didn't go through in Ibach's mind is because it would have ruined the league. I know Ibach deep down would love to be on the Knights, get a World Series ring, like multiple World Series rings, but he's sticking true to and loyal to Boston, which I like that too.
Yeah, it's for the viewers that don't know about this. It was probably what, late April, early May of last year,
Yeah.
and both you and Connor actually texted me trying to convince me, but I was like, I don't know who would have pitched for the Bulldogs, but anyway, Harper, what is your overall thoughts on the Bulldogs heading into 2026?
Yeah, I really like the Eli Emineth draft pick. I think he'll be solid. It was like Boston just brought in George Washington, and then we went full Boston Tea Party when AP came from the South.
Wait a
So,
second. No,
so
these I was first, then Eli. Then the Tea Party happened.
Either way, you split away from England. But
All right.
yeah. So I
What?
Hey, I like that, Harper. I like it.
Is that what you looked on your phone?
yeah, I said solid Boston Tea Party reference. Uh, no, anyways, that was a great reference. But yeah, I think you guys will be pretty solid. I mean, you really have no arms for game two, but the hitting will be way better. So, or I mean, game three, whichever one Ibach doesn't pitch. But you guys will have contributors to hit. Eli, as we saw in the tournament from the little games we've seen him play, he can hit a wiffle ball, but he also didn't see many high-end pitchers. So, we'll see how that translates. Big double guy, loves a gap double. Not sure how that'll work in wiffle ball,
Yeah,
but
Dairy Queen. Yep.
solid. Yeah, Rowan's good for clutch hit too. Henry just hit a dribbler or something. I don't know.
I also wanted to say, going back to the trying to get Ibach on the Knights, I was ready to give up everything. And just so you know, Ibach, I'm still ready to give up everything for you to come to the Knights. So just keep that in the back of the mind if you ever want a World Series ring.
We'll try to get one on our own, me and Andrew this year. But
Can I ask a question before we move on?
yeah,
It's to AP. I've been thinking about this for a while. Do you enjoy being like the villain kind of character of the league? Like, do you like that no one likes you in the league, or is it
Wait,
just
me?
no, Ibach? What do you mean? Yes,
Wait.
you
Wait,
idiot.
that was satire. Okay. Yes, I'm picking
That
up
was
on it.
satire. Okay.
Well, we just, we're in our
answer the
satire unit for
question.
English 4. Oh,
Answer the question.
There's no ethos, logos, and pathos here, my
yeah.
boy.
So, yeah, I'll start with logo. So, logically speaking, you probably don't want to be the villain, but I think I have to embrace the role at this point. Leave it
Okay.
at that.
So can we just talk about how he voted himself for first place in the
Yeah. Let's go side note here. Let's go side note. Nobody really knows, but since you got a first place vote, we want your honest
we're
answer.
gonna assume you voted yourself
You can take
Yeah, hey,
as
I
a
heard
no.
that
You
the
don't have to answer.
polls.
Did you put yourself at first place?
because no one else can vote you
I'm
for
gonna leave that no comment. The voting was open to all of the voters, and I voted how I wanted to vote.
I will
This is why
say,
you're the villain of the league.
I respect that. I respect that.
okay, I'm not gonna say if he did or not, but if he did, I think he's just doing it to rile up the people even more that already want to beat Andrew.
I agree with you saying that, but I genuinely think in his heart he thinks he's the number one player in the league.
Which is fair. That's a good competitive spirit.
That's confidence.
That's good competitive
I like
spirit.
that.
It's just like no. At some point, it's like you got to make some friends and quit making enemies. But really, just
Well, okay, what friends am I gonna make with voting for them anonymously?
I mean, just wait. Oh, so he did vote for himself.
Oh,
All right,
oh,
anyways,
hey,
just
just some
just
food for
wait. Just
thought. Don't
wait.
know how many
Wait until
calories
he
that
jumps
has.
off the bridge with Boston. Then where are you gonna go? Miami?
Don't know how many
He ain't
calories
coming to
that food
Knoxville.
for thought has, but
There ain't no river to the metro.
There was there was only one team in the trade market for Andrew, and it was me. But that's not a slight on you, Andrew. That's just whatever. We'll move on.
All right.
The Bulldogs over under is set at 8.5 wins. Who wants to? Well, Andrew will. I think I know what you're going to do here with the over under pick. 8.5 wins.
Over. I feel like I may or may not have been the guy who had the overrated or overreaction or not overreaction on the 15-0 Bulldog season. I put not an overreaction, so yeah, I will go over for this one.
I will biasly take the over. I mean, we won 7 games last year. We would have won 8 if we would have not pitched, Hank and Kaysen against the Masterbatters in the last game. So I think adding Andrew and Eli will get us over the hump. I think we get to 10 wins, but Harper and Caleb over under 8.5 for the Bulldogs.
I'm gonna let's see. I really want to take the under but that means you have to lose 2 games of you pitching, which with the new hitting, I don't foresee that happening. I can see you going a perfect 10-0 in the regular season. So there's a chance. I'm gonna take the over, but I very well could see you being like hitting like that 8-win mark. But I'll take a 9-win Boston. You lose one regular season game on the mound, and your other pitchers are just awful, so they don't win you a game.
I will also take the over. I genuinely don't think with offense, I don't think Ibach is going to lose a game. He did get a mediocre bat this offseason in AP. Definitely can get him some runs.
Bomb or bust.
Ibach gets on base, he walks, he gets hits. If AP can hit that bomb, he does every once in a while because he does have some power in him. He does hit bombs when he wants to. I think that takes it over because I don't think Ibach loses with offense and then maybe give AP a win or two if his arm's healthy. I just don't think any other pitchers besides Ibach and AP are going to get a win on that team.
All right, that's a good way to transition to Harper, your Metro Monkey. So kind of an interesting last 2 years. You win a World Series, you have a massive World Series hangover with a 5-10 season. And then last year you guys kind of surprisingly sweep the Spiders and you almost beat the Knights too in the semifinals. So you come into 2026 with kind of a weird expectations, but what are our overall thoughts on your Monkeys in 2026?
Yeah, I think we'll be a fine team. I think we're definitely gonna have to play up to the competition, but I think it's something we've always had to do. You know, the league really likes to ban us, like they take away our best players, here and there. Caleb gets his own team. Nolan gets traded for free, then comes back because he has nowhere to
It
go.
was 4 years ago, dude.
Connor Nolan,
Connor,
good player.
Connor goes away for free. Just Jonas goes away for free. Just stuff like that. It's just like,
No, hey,
For free.
no,
Whoa.
you traded Jonas.
Whoa.
yeah, but it
Here's
wasn't
where
like I
the
had a
HR
choice.
cap
I
comes
didn't have
in.
a
No.
choice. I didn't have a choice.
You did have a
And it was
choice.
like, yeah, no,
Anyway, hey,
he
stick to
sent
the
me a pretty
topic.
good DM about how he
Anyway,
wanted me.
anyway,
Um,
keep it moving.
no, but yeah, so I mean, I think I mean, we are used to playing against the odds. Like if like we're betting on the roulette table. That's us. So I mean, I think we'll be fine. We just got to play up to our standards. Hopefully, Bo can lock in. I mean, Bo might be the best player in the history of the league, as we might know. So we'll see how it plays out. But oh,
Uh, Caleb, what do you got on the Monkeys coming into this year?
They do have a lot of good team chemistry. They bond together. They're all Northsiders, right? All Northsiders.
yeah, we don't fuck with the
Yeah, you guys are all
Whoa.
Northsiders. You guys
Okay.
have a lot of chemistry. I think Doug, when he's good, can get through those games.
Yeah.
When he faces good teams, it might be a little challenging. But I do like the talent in Bo, and I think they're having a good season. But I just don't think they can compete with the Knights, the Bulldogs, and the Cowboys.
Andrew?
I'd like to start off by saying I do like what they have going on in the Metro community over there. I like the team camaraderie. The energy is live whenever you play them, especially at Little Wrigley.
Yeah.
Tighter environment, echoes off the houses probably. I will say that the pitching depth, well, they just have guys who can throw. They filter through them smartly. We faced them, kind of faced their backup arms in the last slate of the regular season, and then we didn't know how to hit their main arm come postseason. So that was good strategic move by Harper. But I do think that if anything happens to the, you know, anything they got going on the mound, it's going to be relying on energy and hitting.
Okay.
I will say I'm a little worried. About Will. I mean, not worried because we've seen a lot of players get better once they're done with their baseball career. As I would almost argue, Ibach has gotten better since his baseball career is over.
Well, he's
Not
still
over, but
he's
his
still
his
yeah.
competitive, like you still play talent, but like competitive baseball, high school baseball career is over. So Will not being in form, me not being in hit, but I think it's something we're gonna have to overcome. I'm a little worried for Will's pitching more than his hitting, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on the Monkeys. So you guys started 4-2, and then you went a whole month without hitting a home run, going on a 9-game losing streak. Bunch of not great stuff happens. So you guys kind of feed off momentum. Is that kind of something you want to clean up this year and kind of just be more consistent?
Yeah, I mean, definitely something you have to look forward to as a game manager. But I mean, we do need to be more consistent. But we also had some unfortunate plays like against the Bulldogs.
You guys should have beat us twice.
We should have beat you guys twice. We signed a player for a 5-day contract, and he really let us down in a big situation, and that's why his contract didn't get extended, and that's okay. But just we've had things like that happen where, like I said, he's got to overcome, get over the hump, and like we said, consistent play will it's what we need. So
Yeah, so we'll get to the over/under pick here
I,
for the
I
month.
would like to touch on one thing.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think that if Bo can be a spark plug for them, I think the team is very dangerous because uh, during that 9 game stretch or whatever it was, I mean, they had to see to believe, and once they saw it happen in the playoffs, it's like a freight train. So see if they can get that going early in the season.
I'm gonna add off that. Once again, they love playing high. They ride the high. They love getting hype. But once they're low, they start clashing with each other. They start yelling at
They
each
they
other.
start turning on each other. Yep.
They start turning on each other, and then they're just screwed. Especially when they face a good bats in the playoffs, like they did last year.
no, there's no turning on each other. It's just trusting the process. Like if one guy's getting hit off on the
No,
mound,
no, there.
we'll go to the bullpen, and we're okay with going to the bullpen a second time in the same game.
But
That's
then,
okay.
but then your bullpen gets raked off, and then you guys
Well,
still.
our second bullpen
There's
is
no
the guy who
bullpen.
pitched the
There's no
third.
bullpen.
I agree with AP on this one.
What did he say? What did
He
he
just
say?
says you
And
guys
that
have.
doesn't happen very often.
Well, our bullpen will be Will, and then if Will gets raked off, we go back to Kellen, who was getting Mormon's bullpen again. But this year we have the added of Sam Mon and Bill Purdy.
Yes, Sam On
I
can.
do like Sam Mon. I feel like he's a very underrated pitcher if he gets on the mound.
I agree.
It'll be interesting to see, but to wrap up the monkeys, 6.5 is the over/under total. So keep in mind, you guys in 23, you guys go 8-7, then you go 5-10. You went 4-11 last year. So 6.5 is the over/under. What are we gonna take? I'll start. I'm gonna say you guys go 6-9. I just the pitching depth is something I'm a little worried about. I think Kellen is good, but when he's a little streaky, and Will's kind of just a mystery. He could be on one day, he could be off one day, but I think you guys are a respectable 6-9 record in 2026.
Yeah, I'll take the under on this one as well. Kind of around that 5 to 6 win area. It's a team that is very dangerous come playoff time because they know they have to lay it all out there. And we've seen teams that have been, double-digit wins fall apart in the playoffs. So it's all about timing. And I think if they can get the timing right, the regular season really doesn't matter that much with everyone getting in.
No, I'll go because you're last year. That's your team. I'll say, do you know if they play like the Knights and the Cowboys back to back, like the Bulldogs and the Cowboys back to back? If
Yeah,
you know that.
so they open up with Miami. I can't think of right away right now who they play. Slate 3 and 4. Slate 4 they play the Knights, Slate 5 they play the Spiders. So I want to say they play the Cowboys in Slate 2.
And then do they play the Bulldogs slate 3?
Actually, flip-flop that. It's
Or
Cowboys in
But
Slate 3, Bulldogs Slate 2.
and then the Knights slate 4?
Yep.
I will say if they get swept slate 2, I really think they might get swept slate 3 and 4. So if they get swept slate 2, I'm gonna hammer the under. I think I'm still gonna take the under on
Who's
6.5.
slate two? Cowboys?
Cowboys or Bulldogs, one of the two. Someone you're not gonna beat. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna take the under on that one.
Jeez. Harper, what are you taking?
I gotta take the over. I think we're gonna ride the high of that playoff streak we had. I mean, I think coming off that success we've seen the success. We just gotta build from there.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I take the over. I do think it'll be. I mean, I'm a little nervous for me not being there. I mean, we're gonna have to put a lot of trust in the hands of hopefully Tanner if he can make it, but he's working a full-time job now, so it'll be a mystery if he can or cannot. So, I mean, if Tanner's not there, Kellen's got the reins, and I just got to put my trust in him as a game manager, and so we'll see how that goes. We've never had a monkeys without me or Tanner really, so we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah, I think
I think it's over.
something big for you guys, last thing on the monkeys, is avoiding sweeps because you guys, obviously you did a good job of that in the first two slates last year, but you just couldn't contain the damage and it just kept compounding. And then obviously you guys had heated up in the playoffs, but that's what we got on the monkeys. Here we go. So we'll move on to last but definitely not least, the Miami Masterbatters. So obviously 2024 they go on a insanity run. They win the World Series, and then last year the roster gets kind of gutted. They have a good finish. I mean, they finished 3-3 in their last 6 games. Just kind of overall thoughts on this Miami team. They did draft Riker Gomez, or they signed him, UDFA, but they did not draft anybody this year. So what do we think of this team?
I will say when you mentioned 2024, that put a knife in my heart. That really stung.
Could have gone
I
back to
still
back.
have no idea how Reston just became Shohei Ohtani and just became the greatest hitter of all time.
That high fastball he likes.
Yeah, I don't know. I would make the excuse that we got back from Omaha at 4 in the morning, but that
Yeah.
still doesn't change the fact that Reston hit 400 home runs off us. But I do think they'll have a good year. Gomez is definitely up there on the most underrated player in the league. He's a
Hmm.
he's a great player, can pitch, he can hit. If he can, take that extra step and carry that team, I think they'll have a good year.
Everyone says Gomez is underrated, but I mean, I look at the rankings and he's number 4. I feel like he's fairly rated now. He was slept on, traded last season. So I think this Miami team can definitely get on a run, especially, they got Riker down in the minors now. We heard about, or I talked to Gomez about that a little bit. Kept him in the minors for spring training. We'll see if he is an impact player down the stretch.
Yeah, speaking of Gomez, he actually pitched pretty well. Obviously, Harper and Caleb, you guys were out of town, but me and Andrew saw he pitched pretty well. I mean, he went 6 innings and didn't give up a run. So, that's kind of my question here is like, how good does Gomez have to be for this team to have any success in 2026 on the mound?
I mean, Gomez has to be the best player in the league for them to have any sort of
That's
winning
crazy.
success in the playoffs. I mean, we're talking Gomez puts up the all-time home run record and then probably sets like a top 10 ERA in the league history for them to win a playoff series. That's what we're talking. I mean, you're going to need Reston to contribute, and we've seen nothing out of Riker Gomez. We saw him in the tournament. I did hear he hit a bomb almost, but it went off the tree at AP, that stupid ass tree at AP's yard. But
It got halved.
It would have
Usually
been
they say
foul.
double it and give it to the next person, but
yeah, no. So, I mean, I am curious how Gomez prevails. I mean, I think ranking him as 4 in the league is fair coming off last year,
Yeah,
but I'm really curious how he goes because he fluctuates. I mean, 2022, top 10 player in the league. 2023, probably the worst player in the history of the league.
yeah,
2024, also pretty awful. Besides, me and him were there in the same situation. And then 2025, he showed out. So for 2026, I'm curious to see how he can, if he can keep going up or if he hits one of the drop offs again. So we'll
yeah.
see.
Gomez, he's a fan favorite player. You're cheering for the guy when you're watching the videos. You know that he's there. He's doing it for the fans. So
That's
yeah.
Panda Big 186 in the YouTube comments, by the way.
All right, well, something I think worth mentioning that I did mention earlier, but they didn't really have a roster, an actual full roster until the end of the year, and they won a series and then they lost in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs. So, do we think a full roster for a full season will make any difference in their outcome in the regular season?
Yeah, I think just having everyone there. I mean, obviously they're not gonna have Levi because Levi's in Kansas, obviously,
Yep.
which will hurt them a little bit. But also, I don't mind not having Levi and leaving having that like that. I don't know, like kind of what Benson has, like that. I can't think of the word for it, but like unknown kind of factor to him, where it's like you kind of almost intimidates teams on the other side because they haven't seen him. They
Yeah.
haven't seen him, so that's a nice factor for them. And I think Big Country could have. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, the wily vet, the old guy, former 15 home run club member, isn't he?
Yep.
Didn't he hit 15 home runs?
Led the
Yeah.
league
So I
in
mean,
home runs.
who knows what he could do? I mean, so I think they have the pieces to do it. It's just if they can put it all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, like the number two arm is going to be a huge question mark there. Gomez is going to have to be a really good arm, and number behind him, we just don't know. Caden might have to develop into an arm, but so the over under is set at 4.5 wins. Last year they went 3-12, but remember they did not have a full roster. I'm gonna go first. I say they go at least 5-10. I think they win at least one game in each series. They might win. If they're gonna win a series, it's gonna have to be an upset. I'm gonna take the over on 4.5 wins. What about you
I
guys?
would say that's a really tricky one.
Yep.
Uh, 4.5. That's one win per series. But at the same time, are they going to get swept? I feel like they could get swept by two, maybe three teams. That's a really hard one, but I'm gonna have that's a really low number, but I'm gonna have to take the under.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I take the over purely off of I think they're good enough. I do think they'll get swept at some point, but I think they're good enough to where Gomez can show up. Like maybe against the Spiders or something who are young and don't have the experience where he can show up and put a 2 game win, put up 2 wins for them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's definitely, I mean, as the Monkeys hit 16 home runs off from last year, he is definitely he can get shelled, but I think he's also gotten better. Last year he got way better as the year went on.
yeah,
So I
for
mean, I
sure.
would like to say this year I mean, who knows where he's now, but he could put up 2 wins in a series if he against a lower end team, I would say. I don't
Yeah.
think he's in the caliber to put up against a high team, but
I'll add on that. Just because I'm taking the under doesn't mean I don't want them to go 15-0. I love all those guys on that team, so I do want them to go 15-0, but I'm still going to take the under.
All right, Andrew, what is your pick?
I'm smashing the over on this. I think
Oh,
I ranked them at 3 or 4 to finish in my power rankings. So first off, I'll start by they're dedicated. We saw a few players out there in spring training. They're getting better at their craft. Gomez being one of them. He's always looking to improve his game.
yep.
And he's a guy who he'll take some ground balls in between innings. So the compounding habits of this team, I feel like can push them towards top half of the league.
I will say when sometimes you'll pull up to Mickelson or Little Wrigley, it's a little bit of a toxic environment for some teams. If you're playing Miami, it's never a toxic environment. It's always a great day to play them, win or lose. But we'll transfer into our season picks. This is the best part of the show right here, our awards picks. So we're gonna pick almost every award. Some of them we'll leave out, and then we're gonna pick who's gonna win the World Series and who they're gonna beat. So we're gonna start with Rookie of the Year. We'll start Rookie of the Year. Who wants to start? Andrew? Harper?
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
go.
Or Andrew.
I'm gonna go Colby Ebling. He's gonna have to step up if the Spiders want any sort of success this season, and I mean that. So, uh, and hopefully he does. He's a guy who he can step into a role and play it very well. So I'm gonna go Colby on that.
yeah, I'm gonna take Eli Ameneth. I do think for the Bulldogs to have a successful season, he's gonna have to put together a phenomenal case at the plate, as you're really lacking that number 2 hitter on your team. So I think Eli putting together a great case for Rookie of the Year and stepping into that number 2 role, where he's a consistent spark plug, but also inside the spark plug, he's hitting people in. I mean, I could see him putting up a 6, 7 home run season. Um,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm going Eli Ameneth just purely off the base. The Bulldogs, for them to have all this hype coming into the season that they somehow seem to have, I think Eli really needs to step up and win him with him filling that role. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year. So
I just need some information here. Did Finn's team, did he win that wiffle ball tournament?
So they won their
Lots of the
pool.
Bulldogs.
They won their pool and they got to the championship game and they had to beat me and Andrew and Hank twice. They beat us the first game, but they lost the second game. Andrew and Hank hit a home run. So they took second basically.
Yeah. Well, I will say that tournament was full of wiffle ball players. It was the WBL players.
Yep.
So non-biasedly, I'm taking Finn Briggs.
But
I think he's shut your mouth. I
he
think
he gave up a home run to Henry Devitt.
stuff happens, man.
That thing was
If you want to go back
crushed.
to what was that,
That
2023 when
no doubter.
Connor gave up a home run to Cody Villanueva. I mean, that just
Caleb
changed
gave a
it.
home run to Reston
It
4
changed
times.
everything. So I do think Finn will win Rookie of the Year.
But I would put Cody Villanueva and Reston Schultz way 10 times above Henry Devitt.
No, yo, Henry, he's gonna have a breakout season this year. I can just feel it.
Yeah,
He hasn't been in the lab. I'm afraid to break it to you.
that's a debate for another time. My pick for Rookie of the Year, I'm also going to go with Finn. I think we've seen enough out of his pitching, and I think his hitting is going to be underrated too. I think it's going to be a little bit of the case of when when you added Landon Hale, he kind of just became an ace right away. He got on base a ton. I think that's how this is going to be. So we'll move into our Manager of the Year picks. Kind of an interesting one here because basically all of us here are managers. I'm going to pick Noah Riley because I think if they have a really good year, it's going to be because of the moves they made. Not because of you, Andrew, but the draft picks. Trading for Sam Chase and getting rid of Schrum, a bold thing to do. Drafting Colby Ebling when Finn Bergstedt was on the board, bold thing to do. Basically, what I'm saying is if they have a really good year, he's going to win Manager of the Year. If they have a really bad year, he's going to look like a moron. So I'm taking Noah Riley.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you, Ethan, because you have to make some pivotal moves in the offseason, and as long as you don't make any pivotal moves from now on out, I think you're set up to do well, especially if us as the Bulldogs do well.
This is a really hard one. I do want to take myself because I added three young players,
Yep.
but I'm just not going to take myself. But I think me and Noah Riley are definitely at the 1 and 2 for that spot. I do think the Spiders and the young players. I think the young players will give him an advantage. I do have some young players as well, but I do think Noah Riley gets that spot.
Yeah, I'd say there's definitely a lot of contenders for this award this year. I mean, like I would put Ethan, Noah, and Caleb the 1, 2, and 3. No particular order there. Just because purely off of, I mean, the Bulldogs have a new face to the team, a full new face with you, it's AP and Ethan. I mean, Caleb, obviously, him and Grayson won't be here. Quinn Miller. I mean, I don't even know who the hell that is, but that's the rest of them, all new players, and then Noah with the full young team. So my pick will be Ethan Ibach, but that's purely based on the hype and anticipation and
Whoa.
and and
Speak English.
and
Speak English here.
and I can't think of the word.
Anticipation?
Anticipation
Jeez.
that the whole league has for the Bulldogs to succeed. So I'll take Ethan Ibach.
All right. So the next award, we'll just pick in the same order every time here now. So most improved, I'm taking Henry Schrum. I've been on this train since like last July because I believe he hit under 100 or under 200 this past year. He only had one home run. I think he kind of took him a little bit to adjust to the game of wiffle ball. I think he's going to adjust pretty well, especially on that Cowboys team where there's a lot of depth there. I think he's going to hit like 5 or 6 home runs this year. I'm going to take Henry Schrum for most improved in 2026.
I'm
So,
gonna take the other Henry Devitt.
hey, I like it.
I've seen him. He likes to talk some trash, and that does kind of add the element to the Bulldogs because no one else really does on that team for the most part. And I think it helps his gameplay when he's confident about himself. That's when things start rolling for Hank.
I'm gonna take Kellen Doherty. I
Okay.
think he's a good player as it stands, but if the Monkeys do want to do good, he needs to excel. I think he will take that upper step. He's gonna keep stepping up those steps, and I think he'll be a better player.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take with the home guy. I'm gonna take Kellen Doherty. I mean, with how much work he puts into everything he does and how badly he wants to win for everything he's in. I mean, talking about the heart and soul of the North football team, the heart of the North hockey team. I mean, he's pushing the baseball team. I mean, I just for that with that kind of heart in a player, I mean, I could see him having a great career as a football player, especially depending on where he ends up next year. I mean, hopefully he stays local, but if he doesn't,
Yeah.
it'll be rough. But I'm assuming he will, as I've heard of his next year's school options and yeah, him being here and looking for the long run. I think his heart will he'll step up and make a big role next year.
Hey, three just super nice guys that we picked. Hank, Kellen, and Henry Schramm. I'll just point that out. But anyway, moving into Gold Glove, kind of an interesting one here because Caleb, you have won the last three Gold Glove awards. Now this year, do you win it again because you're going to be missing a lot of the regular season? This is an award that goes through the postseason too, so it's not voted on only in the regular season. So I'm actually taking a rookie. I'm taking Colby Ebling. We saw the plays, me and Andrew saw firsthand those plays he made in that tournament, and he's a good fielder in baseball too. Not saying that always translates, but I just think he's going to play a really good, left field or shortstop, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I'm going to take Colby Ebling. Andrew.
Yeah, I think Colby, he definitely showed that he can field on that left side of the infield, and he's willing to make that throw across. That's kind of a daring one sometimes you have to make. Shout out Benson, playoff series. But
Yeah, he's a good fielder.
yeah, I'm gonna go Christian Gomez here. I've alluded to the ground balls he takes in between innings. They're not all for photo ops. He likes to get the work in. Yeah, I don't want to really pick Caleb here, so.
Yeah,
Jeez.
this is definitely one award where there's one guy that comes to mind where I will never take, purely based on how many series he has sold on missed opportunities and terrible throwing choices. I'm not going to name that player,
Okay.
but he definitely. I mean, he's a former Spider and sold a lot of series, but yeah, I just point right here. But yeah, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Caleb. I'm gonna say his playoffs appearances and the hopefully potentially three regular season series we'll see will be enough.
Wait, timeout. What AP? What does 70 miles per hour have to do with
I
anything?
just hit the radar. That's 70% lies right there.
That's
By
that's
Harper.
you mean 100% truth.
But either way, I'm gonna take Caleb as I think his playoff performance and his potentially three regular season series
Yeah.
will be enough to give him that gold glove. It's just if the only thing would be if he gets enough time in the field to win the award.
I'm gonna agree with Harper. I don't know if I'm fully gonna take me since I don't know how many series I'm gonna make due to college baseball. I'm still gonna stay loyal to my team and take Finn.
Okay.
Especially if we want the team to do well. I think he needs to step up, maybe win Cy Young. I don't know about that. That might be the next question, but I do think I'm gonna take Finn for my Gold Glove.
Okay, nice. And it's worth noting, Caleb, if you do win this award, this will be the first four-peat award winner ever. It doesn't matter what award, it's never happened. So in our league's history. So we
Is
got
he the
three.
time out? Is he the only three-peat winner?
I'd have to go back and look. I think so, but I'd have to go look. In any award, probably. But uh, moving to Silver Slugger, this is an award that Caden Nelson won last year. Uh, Pretty prestigious award in our league because it's a lot of really good hitters. I'm gonna go with a guy that would have won it last year if Caden Nelson didn't have such a great year. I'm going with Gomez. I mean, I think he had 11 home runs. He hit over 300. He's gonna have to have a really big year for Miami to do well. I'm gonna go with Gomez.
I'm just gonna go with the obvious pick. I'm gonna go Kitty Nelson.
Hmm.
He had a great year last year, and I think he's only gonna step that up. So I'm going Kitty Nelson.
Yeah, there's one person that, I just really hope that he returns to his former self. I'm gonna take Big Country Caden Nelson
Yes.
or Caden Kadera. My
Yes.
apologies. Caden.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
And
like that pick.
and I'm gonna say he resorts back to 2022, 2023 Caden. I mean, he works a lot of free time, a lot of free golf around. We see him me and Caleb see him at the golf course like weekly. So just with how much drive he puts in, I mean, he loves the sport.
Yep.
So I'm taking Caden as my pick for Silver Slugger.
I love that pick. Andrew, what is your Silver Slugger pick?
I think objectively I'm gonna have to go Caden Nelson. I mean, what he
Yeah.
did last year, he tore it up. So
All right. So, probably the second most prestigious award in our league is the Cy Young Award. We'll move into that one next. So, obviously, last year I took this one home. I'm gonna go with the guy that took second behind me the last 2 years. I'm gonna go with Jonas Sanders. I just think he's gonna step it up a bit. He did go 10-0 in the regular season last year. A little deceiving because they had such great support on offense, but I think Jonas is gonna have a good year. I'm gonna take him to finally get that Cy Young Award. Whoever wants to go next.
I'm gonna take the commissioner of the league, Ethan Ibach. He's been at the top for many years. Uh, with me exiting some series, I don't think I'm gonna be there. I don't think I still would be in there all 5 game or series. So I'm gonna take Ethan Ibach. He's disgusting. That's all I'm gonna say. He's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take Ethan Ibach. I think he's the best pitcher we've seen maybe ever. I think you have prime Danny Boutain
Yep.
as the best player in league history in 2022 for a single season, but I think you are a pretty close step down from him. So I'm gonna take Ethan Ibach for Cy Young. I don't think there's a pitcher. I mean, there's arguments you can say for like Jonas and such, but I think it's you.
yeah, I'm gonna also take Ethan Ibach. At the end of the day, no one else really works on the craft as much. I mean, Finn Bergseth, people will probably say, "Oh, he's a sleeper for Cy Young," but he also has to face the Bulldogs, so that's the one advantage that Ethan.
Top right there. That's ridiculous right there. I mean, Ibach's the only guy that can hit on that team. So, I mean, you might pop a few bombs, but I don't know about that comment right there, man.
Well, We have one last award. I think we all know what it is. It's the MVP. So we gotta
Wait,
get
sorry for interrupting, but did you pick your Cy Young?
me. I picked Jonas.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I
Yeah, no,
was
you're
thinking.
good. You're good. The MVP award. So just a brief history. Modern era. Danny won it in 2022. Caleb, you took home the next two, and then Caden won it last year. So I'm gonna go with somebody that has not won it before, and he plays for the Southern Spiders. I'm gonna go with Jack Joyce. I think if the Spiders are gonna have a really big year, I think he's gonna have a massive year on the mound. He's gonna have to become an ace, Cy Young candidate. I think he's gonna have a big year at the plate, which he did last year. I just think he takes that next step. I think he has the opposite of a sophomore slump and has a huge year. So my MVP is gonna be Jack Joyce. Andrew, you are next.
Ooh, MVP. You're come back to me. Come back to me. I have to think
Okay.
about this one.
Harper or Caleb, you guys want to go next?
Yeah, I think this award could be a little not flawed, but just something just purely based on like there's people who aren't going to see the full season. So
Hmm.
that'll definitely affect my voting if you don't have less. Like my pick would be Mr. Caleb Brigham, but
Sure.
I think it could get a little like if he only has two series, regular season series,
Yep.
you can't just vote off two series.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a little skeptical based on how much people have like played appearance.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna take the D1 commit and give it to Cade Nelson. I think he grow. I think somehow he's able to grow from last year. And as much as it pains to say me, I think he'll be phenomenal football player this year, especially with Jonas giving him time on the mound. It
Yep.
really last year I think it was hard. It was such a close race for MVP based on him only being a one-way player, but with
Yeah.
him being a two-way player here, I think it'll definitely give him that boost we see out of him, and he'll grow and will be a back-to-back MVP.
Uh, I do think last year, going back to last year about the MVP, I think the two-way player, there's a one-way player and a two-way player. I'm not going to mention. I do think the two-way player should 100% win that award. So do a lot of other
I second
players
that.
in the league. But I do think if Cade Nelson turns into a two-way guy, uh, him and Ibach will fight for that award. But I'm gonna have to take Cade Nelson just to take that little edge.
Andrew, before you pick, I want to mention something to Caleb. When I was at Jack Williams last summer, your dad came up to me and said that Caden deserves the award. So I'm just
No,
gonna put that out there.
that's
That
he just no. He
Hey,
knows
when
not.
he
Caleb
watched all
does
the
not
games. So
when Caleb does not win MVP, they win the World Series. So which
hey,
one
yeah,
would you really?
Hey,
Yeah.
I will say though, I did win the MVP in the World Series, so
yep.
Yeah, and I was the All-Star MVP. What are you trying to get at? I
Andrew,
was the All-Star
who is your MVP for
So
2026?
when we talk about MVP, we talk about the most valuable player to their team. I think that's gonna have to be Christian Gomez.
Ooh,
If they don't have Gomez on that team, it's gonna be a struggle pitching wise for them. He brings a lot to the table hitting wise, and I think we saw streaks where he was pretty much a dominant, probably MVP of multiple series last year. So yeah, I'm gonna go Christian Gomez.
I like it. So the most important pick of the day, we're gonna go with who is gonna win the World Series and who are they gonna defeat. Uh, I'll just start us off and get mine out of the way. I'm gonna go with the homer pick. I think we're gonna take it home this year. The Bulldogs are going to defeat the Spiders, and I'll add in 4 games. I think that would set up for an all-time matchup. Bulldogs Spiders, two teams that Bulldogs haven't won it in the modern era. The Spiders have never won it, and obviously Andrew and Noah going against each other speaks for itself. But yeah, give me Bulldogs over the Spiders.
AP, you can go. We know what you're gonna say, but you can go.
Okay, I will also take Bulldogs, but not who you might think against. I have the Bulldogs beating the Monkeys in the World Series for the sole factor of that momentum. I think the Monkeys get hot in May. Monkeys May, is that what they say? Who knows?
The
But
vibes at the ballpark would
maybe,
be immaculate. I'll just say that.
yep, that would be a loud atmosphere. And yeah, I feel like the Monkeys start to figure out things in the postseason, not in the regular season though.
All
You
right.
know, purely based on how this segment is going, I should take myself, as I firmly believe we will win. But I don't want to be biased. and I don't want to just take myself purely for the segment. So I'm gonna say my favorite besides the Monkeys, and that will probably be the Bulldogs. I hate to give them their flowers. I think they're the most exciting team to watch this year as they have so new faces, and it's if their second and third and fourth players can contribute for once, then that'll push them over the edge and over the hump. It's just I'm really curious who steps into that second player role. I mean, my pick would be Eli Emineth, but it's just we're curious to see who it'll be. And
Don't sleep on Eli Emneth.
I
Don't sleep on
I
Eli.
picked him
Yeah.
rookie of the year,
Yeah.
and so it's just
Who are they
I'll
going to
pick the
defeat
Bulldogs
though?
purely based off it's like who they're gonna beat.
Yeah.
Um, this year it's not AL, it's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. No, there's every team's in the same division. You're seeded 1 through 6. No
I'll
divisions.
take I'll take the it'd be 1 versus 3. I'll take
Spiders.
one
I
versus
don't know how
3.
the Spiders would
No,
get
hold on, I'm
there.
doing math in my head of a bracket works. 3 versus 2.
The 3 and the 6.
I'm taking the Spiders. Spiders upset the Cowboys who get the 1 seed. Spiders are the 4 seed in the playoffs.
Okay.
Bulldogs are 3 seed. Knights are 2 seed. Bulldogs upset the 2 seed. Spiders upset the 1 seed. 4 versus 3 seed meet in the World Series. That's my
Okay.
pick.
Ethan put that on the screen. I don't know if
I
anyone
I'll
called
put
that in there.
I'll make a graphic for it. Caleb, what is your World Series?
I'm gonna take the Knights.
Okay.
I mean, you have to take the Knights. I think we just have it in the tank. We still have it in the tank. We did last year. We still do it this year. We're gonna have it next year, next year, next year, next year, next year. I'm gonna have us beat the Bulldogs. I
Okay.
think that might come down to the greatest series of all time, especially with Ibach on the mound. You can pitch every game in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, playoffs, no restrictions in the playoffs.
I think that might come down to one of the best series of all time. I think it might be like a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 kind of game every single game.
Yeah.
But I do think we're gonna beat the Bulldogs. I'm gonna say you didn't ask what game, but I'm gonna say game 5, and I would say game 100 if it went to 100 games because I think it's gonna be that
Yeah.
close and tight.
I like it. So
And Caleb, I will add. What time of day is the World Series played at? Probably like daytime, right? Yeah, not the nighttime. So it's not going to be the Knights' time to win it this time.
That
And
was
the
great.
Bulldogs going to take it
I'm gonna
home.
IBOX. That was or not IBOX. Sorry, AP. That was a good one. That was a good one. But it don't matter what time of day it is. It's gonna be BTA no matter what, man.
okay. So that'll wrap up that part of this. We have 2 more segments. This second to last one I want to do is the Slate 1 picks. We're gonna, for the people that don't know, we're gonna do between each slate, we're gonna do our picks for each series.
Wait, hey, hold on. I got my.
Oh yeah, Andrew's gonna grab this while I explain it. So the Slate 1, everyone knows the schedule already, but it's Bulldogs versus Cowboys, Monkeys versus Masterbatters, and then Spiders versus Knights. So we're gonna pick who's gonna win the series and if they're gonna win it 2-1 or 3-0 sweep. So and we're gonna keep track throughout the year and who wins at the end gets the most picks right. So Slate 1, once Andrew gets back, we'll pick. I'll just start it off. Bulldogs versus Cowboys. We'll go around the room. There it is, the sign.
That's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
That is
That's
pretty
pretty
sweet.
sweet.
So Bulldogs Cowboys. I am going to take the Bulldogs to win this series 2-1. Caleb and Harper, you guys go next.
Can you say that again, please?
Bulldogs versus
Sorry.
Cowboys. Who's going to win the series and 2-1 or sweep?
I'll start. That is a crazy Slate 1 matchup. It's a top 3 matchup. Ooh, I'm without Jonah. I don't think Jonah will be there. I'm gonna take the Bulldogs. I think Ibot can get 2 wins out of it. I'm not gonna say a sweep because even if AP was healthy, I don't think they'd still get the sweep. But I'm gonna take the Bulldogs in that one.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Bulldogs purely based on I think Jonas is going to want 2 games in the series. I think he'll take 2 games, but I think AP, you do see Jonas. I'll give you your flowers here. You seem to see Jonas really well when he's on the mound. Ibach, you do as well. And I think Eli being an unknown factor, I mean, I think he'll be the one to make or break the game. He can contribute.
He's the X factor.
But
Eli's the X factor.
and then you also have your playing guys, your fill-in players. But I think that's what will determine the game. And obviously we've seen a Rowan clutch hit, which I would love to see a Rowan walk-off bomb.
Yep.
But there's I'll take you guys on the series purely based on I think later in the season the Cowboys will switch to Nelson 1 and 2, Jonas 3. But that's my opinion. I'm not the general manager. I don't make the choices here. So I'll take the Bulldogs over the Cowboys.
2-1 or 3-0?
I'll take it 2-1.
Okay. Andrew?
I will take the Bulldogs in a sweep. I mean, when we talk about sweeps, we talk about, getting the job done. I think this is going to be a full, you're going to walk into the room and it's going to be like, oh, it's vacuum. Nope, we just sweeped it out really good. And I think that, yeah, Bulldogs is going to start off the season hot.
All right.
New faces, same goal.
Okay. So the second matchup of Slate 1 is, we mentioned it, Monkeys Masterbatters. I'll start it out. I'm going to take the Masterbatters 2-1. I don't know what it is. I think Gomez is going to pull out 2 wins for the squad on the mound. They're going to spark something. I got the Masterbatters winning this 2-1.
I'm also going to agree with Ibach. I think Gomez can squeeze 2 wins out of that. I'm going to take the Masterbatters 2-1.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough series for the team, to be honest, because like we have a lot of young guys, not young, but like Kellen and Will haven't been around. I mean, they're only 1 year different than me, I guess. But really, it's been like I feel like I have seen just purely based on like spring trainings and all-star and pickup games. I mean, I think me and Tanner see Gomez really well. So I think that really contributed a lot last year to our win over Miami.
Hmm.
So not having me and potentially Tanner missing a game could be, I would assume he'll be there, but we're not sure. So that could play a factor. So I'm gonna take the Monkeys in a 2-1 win, but I do think Gomez will squeeze out a win. We'll beat Gomez one game, and then whoever the third pitcher is, I think we'll take care of pretty handily. But I will say, I think if I was there and Tanner's there, I think it's a sweep. It's a sweep for sure. But purely based on the circumstances of me not being there and Tanner up in the air kind of at the moment, we'll go 2-1 Monkeys.
Andrew?
I'm going to take another sweep, and it's going to be in favor of Miami. I think that,
What the?
that they're not going to have their
Sweep?
guys. Like, Harper isn't going to be able to
You ever heard
put
of
the cap
Kellen
in HR
Doherty?
cap. What?
You ever heard of Kellen Doherty? We're not
Okay.
going to pitch Kellen versus Gomez both
Well,
games.
Kellen,
Kellen will pitch against their bum.
Kellen's dealing with some decelerating issues with the arm right now.
Yeah, and he
So
can
if
whip
he's
that
not
with
able to go, it will be even more of a
that
sweep.
Sam Mon, buddy.
Let him
Fair
pick.
enough.
Let's go.
Debut, by the way. But yeah, I think that Gomez will win his 2 games on the mound, and then that third game where they're pitching anyone that they want, Gomez will take care of it with like a grand slam or something. Watch out for Brady Ambule as well.
I like it. So the last series of Slate 1 is Knights Spiders. So Knights and the Spiders, I mentioned it very early in the show. Knights have never lost a series of the Spiders. They usually sweep them. And I think that changes. I'm going to take the Spiders 2-1 just because of the fact that Caleb is likely not going to be there. I think they got the advantage in the pitching. I still think they win a game, but I'm going to take the Spiders 2-1. So I don't have any sweeps in Slate 1, but Caleb,
I'm
your pick,
also
or
going to take
Harper,
the
your pick.
Spiders. I'm also going to take the Spiders 2-1.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close series. I just don't think the young guys will for the Knights. I mean, that don't really have WBL regular season experience. They just they're just not going to perform to their full extent. I think later in the season they would sweep the Spiders.
Okay.
But at the moment, I think just where they are, especially without Caleb and Grayson, I think it's going to be tough for them to win. And I think Jack Joyce and Tate Grandy will push them to the win. So I take 2-1 Spiders.
I am doubtful for the series. So that definitely throws a wrench in the wins and the plans and how the game's gonna roll. But yet again, I'm still gonna take the Knights. The floor's 2-1. But I'm definitely gonna take the Knights. I don't want to say a sweep, but I'm taking the Knights.
Okay. Andrew.
I'm going to go with the Spiders actually winning this series, which sounds ironic how I have the Spiders finishing the year. But I think it's all about timing here. You got
Yeah.
Finn Bergstedt, he's going to throw a couple games, and this is his welcome to the league moment. And I think we saw that with Jack Joyce and Sam Chase in that All-Star game. They had their welcome to the league moment already. So I think it's really going to come down to, this is Finn's time to learn the ropes of WBL.
Okay, I like it. So Slate 1 picks are in the books there. That'll wrap up the episode, folks. Thanks for watching our full season preview. Our next video will be the trailer, which will be on our Instagram and our YouTube channel, which is likely coming out tomorrow if you're watching this on Saturday, which hopefully this is up by then. But from Caleb, Harper, and Andrew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.